You're tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly pop and geek culture show covering movies, TV, games, and comics. Now your hosts, Cody Pinnick, Sam Dunham, and Josh Harrison.
Hey everybody, welcome to Nerd Overload, the pop and geek culture show that's here to mock show.
Yes.
Which is German for make show.
Ja.
Yeah.
Ja, das ist good.
I'm Cody.
Ich bin ein Sam. Is that my name is Sam?
I am Herr Harrison.
Thank you all for tuning in. We have an amazing show for you this week. We're pretty video game heavy. We're going to be talking a lot about PlayStation games, but we got some other stuff sprinkled in there as well.
If you like painting little men, there's some Warhammer.
There's some Warhammer in there, yeah. But first, we're going to get into our check 'em outs for the week.
Check it out!
Spirit fingers.
Yes.
that you can't see.
You can't see. No, just imagine that we are all doing a tiny dance in the studio when we play that song.
I mean, it's the law.
It's the law. We got to. So yeah, I can jump in and do my couple real quick. So the first one, I finally started playing Tears of the Kingdom, the Legend of Zelda. And
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes, and once I got out of the tutorial area, I started having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, you were getting
I was getting a little heated.
A little salty.
I was a little salty. Well, I was putting too much thought into the game. I thought everything has to be a puzzle. Everything has to have some complex thing. And I'm not going to get into the thing that I was doing because that's, not great radio. But I was making areas in the tutorial area much more difficult than they needed to be.
Oh, yeah.
And
you can build crazy stuff, but like every puzzle, you're not going to spend more than a couple minutes throwing some wood pieces together.
Yeah, no, there was one thing that the solution was obvious, and I spent an hour trying to come up with a non-obvious solution because I didn't see the obvious solution.
You couldn't see the forest for the trees.
Exactly. So, but once I got out of the tutorial area, I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's just like Breath of the Wild, but the new powers are pretty great.
I saw there's like a thing you can get where you can like ditch the glider and you get like a wingsuit.
Yes, that's one of the shirts, I believe. And it doesn't use stamina when you glide.
Oh, I need to find that.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not too far into the main game. I went through my first crevasse into the depths.
The depths are cool. They're
very cool.
The conceit of the depths.
Being like, once you get hit, you cannot heal until you're back up on the main land. That's pretty rad.
I read some article that the depths is not as scary if you got a sweet ride.
Well, yeah, you can fly over there's like terrain that hurts you and like pollutes your hearts, so you can't refill them. But yeah, if you've got if you built like a hover bike or something, you can fly over, or if you find there's skeletal horses down there, you can ride
those horses all over the place.
Yeah, they can step in the goo.
I remember finding the stall horses in the first game.
Yeah, I wish you could stable them. I wish there was an underground stable you could leave them at. But
that would be awesome. Yeah, but no,
I hate the horses in that game.
I do too.
They control like garbage, and they didn't fix them in this game either. They're still terrible.
They're not great. So the other thing that I did this week is I took a trip to visit the family, and that's right, I watched all of the Fast and Furious movies in preparation for Fast X, or as I like to call it, Fast 10, your seatbelts. Which should have been the name.
Yeah.
Should have been the name.
Yeah.
But
wait, did you rewatch Hobbs and Shaw again too?
Rewatched Hobbs and Shaw. Rewatched
the one spinoff.
I even found the two short films that they made.
What?
Turbocharged Prelude to Too Fast, Too Furious. The 5-minute short film explaining how the character Brian, Paul Walker's character, got from California to Miami, and also
he drove.
Also, the Vin Diesel written and directed Los Bandoleros, which explains how they ended up in Puerto Rico. At the beginning of the third one. Yeah, there are short films. It's a whole thing.
The Fast cinematic universe.
Yes, and watching it this time, I was really kind of trying to keep an eye out for, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how realistic are these films? And let's face it, not many of them are all that realistic. They're all pretty heightened. But the first 2 or 3 movies are very much about the racing.
I think Tokyo Drift was the last one I watched.
Yeah, which is technically the 6th one in chronological order.
Ugh.
Because Han dies in that one, but Han shows up in 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's funny because at the end of each movie, like, they didn't know that they were going to be making the next one. So at the end of each one of those movies, Han mentions, "Oh, I think I'm going to go to Tokyo next. I think that's my next big adventure." Because they kept thinking, okay, well, it's got to set up that he goes to Tokyo and dies. Except he doesn't die because he faked his death because a shadowy U.S. government asked him to protect a girl whose DNA controls a device that can take control of every computer on the Earth if used in conjunction with a satellite.
She's
that
cyborg?
No, her parents were the scientists that created it, and their DNA is the key. But John Cena steals the device and also kidnaps her, and then Ludacris and Tyrese Gibson have to drive a car into space and Tokyo Drift through a satellite.
Wait, was this the last one?
This was F9, yeah,
Okay.
where they drive a rocket car into space and Tokyo Drift through a satellite.
FF9 is the one with Vivi, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Lots of belts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
10.
That's 10.
That's 10.
No, 9 had Vivi the Black Mage and Zidane the Thief and Steiner the Knight.
Oh, and Steiner, that's the one, yeah. But no, so watching it this time, I was really kind of trying to keep a keen eye on, okay, when does it go off the rails? When does it go from movie reality to G.I. Joe, the animated series, cartoon
reality?
And it is halfway through Fast 5. Because at the beginning of Fast 5, they are stealing tankers full of gasoline.
What is this, Mad Max?
Kinda. Well, I mean, they're down in a South American country where, if you control the gas, you control the people.
It's the Road Warrior.
Yeah, kinda. And they were stealing the gas to give to the people.
The next movie is going to be the Aqua Cola.
But no, it starts fairly realistic in Fast 5. And by the end of Fast 5, you have 2 muscle cars that are tied together to a bank vault that they've ripped out of a police station, tied between them, and they're using it as a wrecking ball while they're driving around. Driving around a town.
Why is there a bank vault in a police station?
Because the bad guy owns the town, and the Dom's family wanted to steal all the money, so they hit one of the bad guy's drug dens, forcing him to consolidate all of his money into the corrupt police station.
Which apparently used to be a bank?
Which also has a bank.
I shouldn't have asked.
Yeah. And it's crazy because, the inciting action, conceit of the first one is Dom and his team are stealing TV VCR combos off the back of semi-trucks. And then in number 8, The Fate of the Furious, they drift a submarine with a nuclear warhead on it through Antarctica.
They should put Steiner in the next Fast and Furious movie.
They should. You know what? Well, they kind of did. I mean, John Cena's there.
He's got that chin.
Yeah. But it's a cartoon at this point.
Oh yeah.
And I kind of love that it's a cartoon at this point. They're not good movies.
Sorry, I'm just imagining some war boys witness me, Dom Toretto.
I mean, is Dom Toretto not? I mean, he's just some white paint away from looking like one.
A war boy.
Kinda, yeah, a little bit.
You got The Rock, playing the flaming guitar.
Also, The Rock starts off as a relatively believable character, as the guy who the government brings in to find fugitives. And by the third time he shows up, he's twice the muscle mass, and he's flexing so hard that he's busting his arm that was in a cast. He's busting the cast. He flexes out of the cast, then grabs a Gatling gun and shoots down a drone plane by hand.
I mean, The Rock's neck did have a glow up.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
That dude, watching old wrestling clips with The Rock and then seeing him now.
Oh, they look like 2 different people.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's like Wrestler Rock is his, his stunt double or his Wish.com version of himself.
Yeah. one of the weirdest things to me with the Fast and the Furious
only.
Oh yeah, no, there's not many weird things, but there's a few weird things. They still haven't written out Paul Walker's character.
Oh.
So for folks who don't know, the actor Paul Walker died in a street racing car accident, after the filming of Fast and the Furious 7. He is still canonically alive within the films, and not just like, oh, we don't talk about him anymore, like his story's done. They reference multiple times that Paul Walker, Brian, is at home watching the children while the team goes off and does their thing. The end of Fast and the Furious 9 ends with everybody at the backyard barbecue, like you do, because every movie has to end with
family.
When you're a family, you have your Coronas and your backyard barbecue at the Toretto household, and everybody's sitting down to dinner, and they say, we can't say grace yet because someone else is coming. And then Paul Walker's car drives up and parks in the driveway, and then cut to black, end of movie. He still technically is alive and active in the films, despite the character not being there for multiple films.
It's like they lack the writing ability to handle it appropriately. So
Yeah.
they just don't want to touch it.
It's weird.
Didn't one of the movies have like an homage to him at the end, like he's driving or something, and like Vin Diesel like looks over and
the
sees
end of
him?
Fast 7, they finished their, because the movies end one of two ways. You're either at the backyard barbecue, or you're doing a race, a one-on-one race with Dom Toretto, no stakes, not for money, just for pride. Those are the two ways you end those movies. And yes, Fast and the Furious 7 ends with them doing a race for pride for good old times. And in that last scene, they digitally reinserted Paul Walker into the movie because he had died before filming that last scene. It's weird. It's weird.
They should have his ghost haunt a car. There's an episode of Wellington Paranormal where they deal with a car that's haunted by a ghost.
Yeah.
They should just do that.
They are one step away from ghosts. They're one step away from supernatural. It's crazy. Like, they've gone techno. I mean, there have been multiple people who have died and come back, one of which had amnesia and was on the villain team for a while.
Wasn't that like Gal Gadot's character, was it?
No, she comes back in this one, in Fast 10.
Oh.
Spoiler. I got spoiled on it a while back. But yes, apparently a post-credit sequence introduces the third character who's died and come back to life in Fast and the Furious franchise. It was Letty. It was Michelle Rodriguez's character. She came back with amnesia.
She always comes back from the dead in movies that
she
she's
does.
in.
Yeah. And then Han was killed and then retconned. And then Gal Gadot somehow has
returned.
Has returned. Yes, she has somehow returned.
Somehow Gal Gadot has returned.
Yes.
Execute Fast and Furious.
But no, got caught up.
Execute FF66.
They're going to get there eventually.
Yeah.
The Fast 10 was supposed to be the first part of the 2-part finale. After the success of Fast 10, Vin Diesel has said, well, there is enough story for two more sequels.
What does "there's enough story" mean? What story?
Stop. He's
Well,
already dead.
Cargo is the story.
Well, you see, no, they practically cut out all of the street racing by number 7. Number 7. So one part of these movies is once they get into like we're doing a caper, we need to get some cars. We need to get some cars that aren't ours, so that the people can't track us. Usually it's like the government that has put a tracker in their car, or someone has spotted them in their car or something like that. They need to get new cars. And there's always a scene. It's an excuse to go to the nighttime street race. So you can have the street race scene they can pink slip some cars. By number 7, it's Paul Walker and Dom Toretto and Vin Diesel driving up to a street race, getting out of their cars going, I like that one. Hard cut to them getting back to the hideout with their new cars because they just assumed it's like, of course they won. It's Dom Toretto.
Man,
he drive fast and love family. That's what his thing is.
I remember when the first Fast and the Furious movie came out, and it just boomed like the local like gearhead like people like.
Oh, the first couple of movies they're talking about things that are real car parts, and I don't understand what they're talking about.
Well, it's like everybody and their brother got a Honda Civic and souped it up and put, afterglow or like underglow lights on there.
Lights, NOS.
Yeah,
you install the Go Fast button.
Yeah, everyone was going up and down.
Turbines to speed.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
And everybody was going up and down 95 in front of Walmart. Just
Yep.
Sound like a bunch of weed whackers going around town.
But by the 5th or 6th one, they're doing the techno jargon, nothing science. They have 2.
We have to reverse the polarity on
the neutron flow.
The neutron flow on the wheels.
They have 2 computer experts. So Ludacris was a character in Too Fast, Too Furious named Tej. He owned a body shop and was like the MC for all of the nighttime races in Miami. Okay, simple. He showed up, he did his thing, they ended the movie. He comes back in number 5 because they're putting together an expert team, and all of a sudden he's a computer hacker expert. And the way they explain it is someone says, "Wow, Tej, I didn't know you could do all this stuff." And he goes, "I had a life before I knew you guys." And that's all the explanation they needed.
Like,
you didn't ask.
And then I went to community college for 2 years.
In Fast 7, they add another tech expert who is even more of a tech expert than the tech expert. These movies are stupid.
They are.
But I love them because they're stupid.
Aren't they all pretty much just, vehicular James Bond movies at this point?
The vehicular side of it becomes less and less, but yes. At their peak, they were vehicular James Bond movies because they were getting missions by shadowy government man played by Kurt Russell named Mr. Nobody.
It's not even a good name.
It's not.
Just call him the G-Man.
Yeah,
who has
very Firebird.
Who has been either killed off or has disappeared, so now his protege, Little Nobody, has been introduced.
That's even worse.
And they're played by Clint Eastwood's son, Scott Eastwood.
Oh, gross.
I guarantee that character was written into the movie because in Fast and the Furious 8 because they didn't have Paul Walker and they needed a brown-haired white guy. Because there are some scenes in which once he finally goes, "You know what, Dom Toretto, you're a loose cannon, but I like your style. Let's do this thing." He basically becomes the Paul
new
Walker.
Paul Walker.
He becomes the new Paul Walker. But this new movie, which I'm seeing this weekend, going down to the Grandview Theater and using free tickets to see this movie.
Well, at least you're not paying for it.
No, not paying. No. But apparently Jason Momoa is excellent as a Joker-esque character who is the son of the villain from Fast and the Furious 5. Remember the bank vault?
Oh.
It's his son who's come back to take exact revenge on Dom Toretto.
You stole from my father.
My family.
And also Brie Larson's in it somehow for some reason.
Man, they're just getting everybody.
Why not?
They got Aquaman. They got Captain Marvel.
Hey, why not? At this point, bring everyone back. Why not? Bring everyone back. Everyone who's been in a Fast and the Furious movie, they should return if they haven't been canonically killed off on screen.
Even that doesn't.
Yeah, I was going to say, that doesn't even matter.
Well, there was one character that got a bullet in the head, and, I mean, they're not coming back.
Steel plate.
I know, I could see him doing it.
Well,
Steel
sure.
Yeah, steel plate.
I mean, they had Idris Elba with an exosuit.
My police badge was stuck to my head, and it bounced right off.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's... It makes me tired talking about it.
I finished the Muppets Mayhem the other day.
Oh, yeah, how is it?
All 10 of those.
How is it?
It's a great show, and I loved it very much, but the last 2 episodes were definitely the weakest.
Doesn't really stick the landing?
No, I don't think it really
bummer.
did. It kind of goes too hard on a phone bad message toward the end.
Oh, really?
Like, wow, this is definitely the opinion of an old TV writer about what social media is.
Gotcha. Okay.
But even then, it's still an entertaining watch.
Still fun. All right.
Yeah, but they didn't stick the landing, definitely.
Gotcha.
There was a fun Statler and Waldorf cameo at the end, so.
All right. Fantastic.
They're not dead.
They're always fun.
No.
They're immortal.
Oh, yeah, they're
All
Muppets.
Muppets are immortal.
All Muppets are immortal.
Actually, this show made me think about that. Did we talk about this already?
No. You talked about Muppets Mayhem before, but
not how Muppets are immortal. They obviously age because we all know they've been babies.
Yes,
we've seen them as babies.
But once you hit a certain age, their aging stops. Maybe.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
They're like Highlander immortals.
They're kind of like Highlander immortals.
And then they mention
there
how
can only be one. Yay!
They mention how the Electric Mayhem has been around for 50 years.
Good God.
Which it's true.
Yeah, but they still haven't aged past a certain point.
Yeah.
But then Statler and Waldorf, they are very old. How did they get that old? None of the other Muppets are that old.
They were intelligently designed to be that old. Every Muppet has their own age that
they were born to be grumpy old men.
Well, I was thinking I was talking with Samantha about this, and she just says they were born old.
Yeah, that's it. They were born old.
My theory, though, maybe is that they are extremely, extremely old.
Okay,
like,
sure.
Maybe Muppet aging is incredibly slow at a certain point.
Like elves.
Yeah, and maybe Statler and Waldorf are just like thousands of years old.
They were the first Muppets.
Yeah.
Yes, you have the Cro-Magnon, the Neanderthal, and the Muppet.
The Statler and Waldorf, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They were in the cave laughing at the cavemen.
At the cavemen's cave paintings.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Bunga bunga.
Yeah, that's it.
They're like a Vandal Savage style.
Yes, a Vandal Savage kind of thing. Yeah.
The Muppet Meteor. the Muppeteer.
Uh-huh, yeah.
They did leave it hanging for season 2. Which
good.
Hopefully it gets one, because it deserves one.
Good, I hope so.
It worries me that you don't hear anybody talking about it.
Yeah.
Even though it's a phenomenally good show, nobody talks about it, which is...
That was one thing I kind of thought about when Disney, kind of got the Muppets and everything. It's like Looney Tunes. Does anyone still care outside of very niche groups?
I care very much about the Muppets.
I mean, I do too. I mean, I like the Muppets.
Like, very much. I care very much about the Muppets.
But you might be like the minority. You might be
true.
It,
I see
the Muppet minority.
I see people talk about the Muppets an awful lot on Twitter.
People know the Muppets.
They're still in the public consciousness, whether or not people watch these shows.
Yeah.
I mean, so is Looney Tunes.
Not as much.
Bugs and Daffy are.
Yeah.
But some of the lesser, you walk up to someone under a certain age on the street, are they going to know who Marvin the Martian is?
Yeah, the referee from Space Jam.
Oh, yeah.
Not the latest one, though.
No.
He's only in it for 2 minutes and then he's gone.
Yeah, I forgot about that, yeah.
But people don't fan cast movies with Looney Tunes characters.
Yeah, they fan cast characters with Muppets.
Yeah.
But also the Muppets have done a bunch of things like, Muppet Treasure Island, Muppet Christmas Carol. They did that. So that was part of their niche.
Yeah, that's true.
The Looney Tunes, the most they ever did with anything like that was maybe a bit for an episode.
Space Jam.
Or Space Jam 2.
I had an idea the other day. The next season of The White Lotus, the Muppets should be the hotel employees.
Oh, that would be fun.
And Kermit should be the hotel manager trying to keep everything together. And then all the hotel guests can just be the regular,
awful humans.
The awful people that are normally on White Lotus.
Yeah. No, I'm in. That sounds fun. Yeah. That sounds good. All right, we have a little bit of time left. Josh, what is a thing that you've been checking out this week?
I watched Guardians 3.
Yeah. Tell me about a Guardian 3.
It's hard to watch. Animal cruelty is a bad thing.
There's a lot of it, yeah.
Yeah, there is quite a bit. More than I expected, actually.
But it definitely makes the High Evolutionary seem like a real nasty villain.
He's probably one of the more compelling Marvel villains they've had in a while.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because he's not redeeming in any way.
Oh, God, no. He is a piece of work.
Actually, can we get a little spoilery?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, sure.
They have an opportunity to kill him at the end, and they don't do it. And they really should have. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
He
didn't deserve to live.
No, he did not deserve Rocket Raccoon's mercy.
Yeah, and apparently if you watch the scene when they're escaping and stuff, he's flung over Drax's shoulder. He survives.
They carry him out of... Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve it.
So that he can appear in
or
future Marvel movies.
Whatever.
So he can replace Kang because of... What happened?
Yeah.
And he was a better villain than Kang.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
The surprise F-bomb really took me back.
Oh, it was good. It was very good.
It hit me and I was like, oh.
Because it was not in a particularly heated, dramatic moment. It was just... I
mean, kinda, but not.
Yeah, but yeah.
It was definitely for comedic effect.
Yeah.
But I was like, wait a minute, they used an F word in a Marvel movie.
It came out of a character I wouldn't have guessed be the one that uses the F word in the movie.
That's also true.
Okay, right on.
That's also true.
Right on.
Do we want to talk about the scene, or just want to leave it?
We already got into spoilers. We might as well.
So they go to this planet of animal people. It looks like, I don't know, 1980 Earth.
It's Counter Earth.
It's Counter Earth.
Yeah.
It's Counter Earth, but it's like set in the 80s or whatever.
Yeah.
Like everything's kind of slightly lower tech.
But everybody's furries. It's furry Earth.
Yeah, everyone's animals. Everyone's animals. The Animen, I think, is what they are, honestly. But they're like, well, we need to go to the high evolutionary's castle thing, whatever.
Yeah.
So they hop
This
in
bad guy tower.
Yeah, we need to go to Bad Guy Tower. And Star-Lord gets in the car and it was Nebula, right?
Yeah, Nebula doesn't know how to open the door.
Doesn't know how to open the door.
Yeah.
And he's like, push the thing. Push the button.
Push the button and pull the handle.
Yeah. And she's thumbing the keyhole.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And he's like, no, push. You're obviously pushing the keyhole. Push the button. And she pushes it in. And she's like, okay, now what? And he's like, open the effing door. And I was like, oh.
Oh, that's
also
awesome.
The movie like opened up with some real kind of graphic violence, like outside of like the Rocket Raccoon stuff. Like when Adam Warlock comes bursting into
Adam
nowhere.
Warlock doesn't mess around at the beginning of the movie.
He literally comes bursting through the wall like he's the Kool-Aid Man.
Nice.
And snaps Mantis's arm in half, hits Nebula so hard that her neck pulls a Juti Ito.
Ooh.
But she snaps her bones back into place.
Yeah,
It looks really cool.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's also like there's all that crunching noise and stuff. And
it's gross but cool.
Yeah, it's gross.
But then I'm over here. I like body horror stuff.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, but honestly, like when Rocket gets wounded, and that's like a big caveat of the thing, he's dying basically. Mm-hmm. It is that part actually like really kind of hit me in like an emotional way, like seeing them panic over Rocket's little body.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, ooh. I don't know. It did something to me in my emotion place.
It made you feel emotions, which is the point.
Yeah, it made me feel an emotion.
Groot gets destroyed by Adam Warlock too. He ends up just like a head.
Yeah, and then his head sprouts little spider tree legs and starts crawling around. I was like, ooh, I don't like that. Yeah, it was like very much something like out of The Thing.
Nice.
I did not like it.
Excellent.
But then after that grandstanding with Adam Warlock, he's barely in the movie after that, and it's mostly for jokes. Jokes
because he looks like an adult man, but he's just a baby.
Yeah, he's a child.
Yeah, he's a golden Superboy idiot.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny.
It's funny, but I don't know. They basically just kind of shove him off for either one-off gags or Deus Ex Machina.
I don't know. I don't have any sort of like attachment to that character.
I mean,
I don't
either.
I don't either. I think I imagine, now I don't know this, but I imagine James Gunn set up Adam Warlock as at the end of Guardians 2, thinking that they would somehow tie that into Endgame.
Yeah, like
because Adam Warlock versus Thanos has always been a thing in the comics, and when they didn't do that, Gunn had to come up with a way. Okay, well, we have to pay this off somehow. All right, well, let's do this.
He got screwed by the rest of the MCU not paying attention.
Also, Cosmo's the best.
Oh, I love Cosmo.
Cosmo the Space Dog was the best.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people getting mad that they gender swapped Cosmo.
Who cares? It's a dog.
It's a dog.
And also, they the original Russian dog that they sent up, Laika, was female.
A female dog.
So
yes.
it makes sense.
And also, her voice sounds like BMO from Adventure Time.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
She's voiced by Borat's daughter.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
They should do another Borat. Borat 2 was so good. It was legitimately very
I mean, they'll have to
funny.
wait another 5-10 years so that people forget
who
about
Borat is.
Yeah, that's exactly it. All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, we will get into some news.
The marketing department at WZMO suggested I do a new cutting-edge promo for Long Play. You know, short, quick, concise, to the point. Here goes. You're invited to tune in to Long Play, Friday night at 11, Saturday afternoon at 3. Great music, fantastic host, often referred to as the Casey Kasem of Marion. Full albums, front to back, here on WZMO. Whew, did it. Finished before I got cut off.
Hey everybody, that was the break, but now it's done and we are back to do more show. This time it's the news part of the show.
I would have laughed if you hit the wrong button.
I was about to hit the mailbag day song.
That would have been great though.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah, we there was a missed call on the.
Oh, there was.
Voicemail,
Gotcha, but nothing.
No voicemail.
No voicemails this week. Okay.
RoboCop was giving us a call because of last week's
We talked
episode.
about we gave such high praise to RoboCop. He wanted to, thank us, of course.
For following his prime directive.
All right, so let's talk about some news that's been going on during the week. Do we want to go ahead and get the PlayStation stuff out of the way first, or do we want to talk about some other stuff?
Sure, there's a lot of it, but I don't think any of it with any large depth.
There's not a lot worth talking about.
Yeah,
it was a lot of okay. So PlayStation had their Nintendo Direct knockoff,
basically.
State of Play.
This was their kind of E3 moment.
Oh, this was their E3 thing. Oh, they really screwed up.
Yeah, because it's like around that time.
Oh,
when it
yeah,
normally would be. Like,
I suppose it is.
And there's no
about-
E3, and there
Yeah.
probably won't be one ever again.
So I think this was what this was.
Yeah. So what are some of the highlights from this thing? There are a lot of games that I saw and then immediately forgot about.
Yeah. I mean, it really depends on what you're into. What was the highlight? There wasn't like a one big thing that everyone can rally behind, I don't think.
Yeah, a lot of like remakes or things that look very similar to things that are already out.
I mean, I guess Spider-Man was the biggest thing they
Spider-Man
had.
was a pretty
That
big
trailer,
one.
that trailer was pretty good.
It looks fun and good.
Yeah.
I like being able to switch back and forth between Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And plus, you're gonna have, I think I saw something where Venom is also, I don't know if he's playable, but there was like a shot with like the three of them doing something.
I'll bet this,
Interesting.
I'll bet this is their backdoor pilot for a Venom game next.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
they're supposed to be working on that Wolverine game too.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm excited for that one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Spider-Man game where you can play as the Black Spider-Man and also the Black Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. Yep, there's the joke.
Yeah.
There's the joke.
Hey, I'm excited for the symbiote, doing the symbiote
Yeah.
suit saga.
Yeah,
sure.
It's a good way to make the gameplay different instead of doing the same thing again a third time.
Yeah, even though this is Spider-Man 2, this is more like
It's technically the
Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Though I'm not sure how long the Miles game was, though.
I think it's significantly shorter.
Yeah, yeah. It was more like, DLC and a half.
Yeah, it was like we need something for the PlayStation 5. Even though it came out on both, like it was the only thing the PlayStation 5 had when it
At the
came
time.
out.
Yeah.
There's some
The Metal Gear.
Metal Gear
Yep, the Metal Gear Snake Eater remake.
Yeah, Metal Gear Delta,
Delta.
Yeah.
Yep.
which
Metal Gear Snake Eater was the third one in the Solid series. Technically the fifth one,
1, 2,
because there was
3,
Metal Gear Solid, VR
4,
missions.
5. It's the fifth one. Oh,
Yeah.
if you count VR missions, then it's the sixth one.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
there
what
you
I'm
go.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
But anyway, it's getting a remake, remaster kind of thing.
remake.
Remake.
Full remake.
Full
I
remake.
don't know how I feel about it.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I want to purchase this with my money or not because it.
Kojima doesn't have a hand in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way Konami treated Kojima,
They did him dirty, and now they're playing in his sandbox.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Plus, that Metal Gear Survive game
was terrible.
was
yeah.
was
the
awful.
dirt worst. Yeah.
But they also did announce the Metal Gear collection, and I'm like, oh, I love that.
And those
Yeah.
are just more ports, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're
then
ports.
then that's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're coming with Metal Gears 1 and 2, like not Metal
Like
Gear Solid,
the original-
Metal Gear. Yeah,
the original
Yeah,
ones.
it's like the whole franchise up until the fourth one that no one can play unless you have a PlayStation 3.
Right.
So no one can play it.
So no one can play it. Yeah, that's right.
No, I think that one's on PlayStation Plus Premium.
You have to play it streaming though, I think, and nobody wants to do that.
No, you might as well not even play it.
Although it is mostly movies, so if you're gonna play any game through PlayStation Plus streaming, that might be the one to do it.
Yeah,
with.
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, the opening to Metal Gear Solid 4
It's like an hour long.
Yeah, it's long.
It's
There's even like that live action bit with David Hayter.
Yeah, it's at least 45-minute cutscene at the very beginning.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, maybe this is the game to try out cloud streaming on.
Right.
Speaking of streaming things, they also announced a new device, I guess is what you would call it.
Yeah, the Wii U pad.
Yes. Sony in their infinite attempts to ape whatever Nintendo had success with. In trying to make their own Switch, I guess is what they were aiming for. They missed entirely and made a Wii U for your PlayStation 5.
Yeah, and it's been universally panned.
It is a screen that's between two controller wedges like the Switch.
Yeah.
But it only streams content from your PlayStation 5.
Yeah, you can't take it with you.
And you can't leave your house. Like, it's got to be on your network.
So this is, I'm going to the bathroom.
Yeah, it's so you can play Spider-Man 2 on the toilet.
Yeah.
It's a Steam Deck.
Yeah, or in your bed. Then the Steam Deck you can leave your house with, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. I mean,
So
the
it's
Steam Deck
not-
doesn't suck.
Yeah, so it's not even as good as the Steam Deck. Yeah, I saw somebody, I think on the Ohio Retro Game Facebook group. They said it's a solution in search of a problem.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Well, it just reminds me of the PlayStation Move when they tried to make
Wiimotes.
Wiimotes and Wii nunchucks, and it's like, no.
Yeah, it's the Wiimote, but you have to set up a camera. And it's way more expensive.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a Sega Nomad.
No, because you can leave the house with the Nomad. Although not for very long.
No.
It took like 9 batteries and they only lasted an hour.
Yeah.
If that.
But I mean, you could leave your house.
You could, conceivably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could get about an hour away from your house before it died.
Don't play it over a car trip.
Yeah.
So what were some of the other games?
Alan Wake 2, they showed that. I'm really excited about that. I like the original Alan Wake.
Yep.
I like every game that Remedy has ever made, I've liked. So I'm excited for that. But like, of course it looks good. Like, it's one of those things where like, I'm not surprised. Of course it looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, Alan Wake made waves, when the first one came out.
And they made the last game they did, that Control. That is extremely.
I've heard Control is really good.
Extremely good game.
Yeah.
And like narratively right up my alley. It's like conspiracies and psychic powers, and it's a government branch that controls all these like paranormal
Oh, gotcha.
dealings.
Things.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Hey, what was that Splatoon knockoff?
Foam Stars.
Foam Stars.
What if Splatoon was a foam party and
Foam Party.
and Square Enix made it?
Yeah, it looks like it looks like it's trying to steal both Splatoon and Overwatch because it's a character. It's a character shooter.
A hero shooter.
Yeah.
Is it? Does it have bespoke characters?
It has bespoke
Okay.
characters. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they got to monetize that part.
Oh yeah, so they can bring in other Sony properties in there. You get your Kratos and your.
Well, it's a Square.
The
it's a
Kratos
Square
foam
Enix-
party.
Or no,
it's a
not
Square Enix
Square
joint,
Enix.
so it's going to be Cloud. And
Oh, yeah.
Sephiroth.
Cloud and Sephiroth, yeah.
I mean, it is technically different than Splatoon because the goo has
Physics.
it piles up, like it has verticality.
Yeah, verticality. Sure.
And you can surf on it, I guess.
But
yeah.
still,
also-
it's so hollow and obvious
Oh my
what
gosh,
it is that it is kind of.
There's no hiding what it's.
They should
aping.
kind of be ashamed of what they've done, basically.
Yeah.
If it's
But
free
it's Square Enix, so it's probably going to have NFTs attached to it as well.
Also, it'll probably run for about 6 months and they'll close
And then they'll
it down
give up.
forever.
Yeah. Yep.
But if it is free to play, I'd try it. Why not?
Well, sure. If it's free to play, sure.
mean,
Why not?
A
But
lot of the last few free-to-play games that came out, I really liked. They're all gone.
Yeah. That and a lot of Square Enix's games that should be free to play aren't, like that Chocobo Racing one.
yeah, Chocobo GP should be free to play with monetization.
It should have been, but now it's neither.
Yeah.
Man, first Soldier should have got like a console or something.
Yes, it should have got a console port, definitely.
Yeah. I agree.
That was the only thing that I didn't like about it, was the fact that it was hard to control on a phone.
Yeah.
But then I guess you could have hooked up a PlayStation controller because they're Bluetooth. to your phone.
Something about holding a controller and looking at my phone is not appealing to me.
Yeah, I've tried that. I've tried that before. I think I tried it with a Sonic the Hedgehog like port that Sega put out, and it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right at all.
I get maybe with an iPad if you had one of those cases where you can like tent it.
Oh,
like,
sure.
Like a
yeah.
Switch in.
I can kind of see that. Yeah.
Whatever they
And
call that
kickstand mode.
Yeah,
But I never use kickstand mode on the Switch either.
Yeah.
It's like that's
I don't go to enough rooftop parties where that would be.
Yeah, right. Yes, yes. Any other standout games from this thing?
Oh, Marathon. Bungie announced they're doing a new Marathon game.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's maybe Marathon in name only. 'Cause Marathon was Bungie's first big first-person shooter game, like pre-Halo. Before there was Halo, there was Marathon.
Okay.
And it was very much like Doom, but with like a sci-fi story.
Okay, sure.
Like actual story.
Like an actual story.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're bringing that name back from the dead to make it an extraction shooter, I guess is what it is. But it looks so stylish and cool that like
It does look pretty stylish. That
like-
trailer was pretty nice.
like I'm like I'll play this. Yeah.
I mean, Destiny's not bad.
I don't know. Destiny's very good. I just get, I don't know.
Overwhelmed?
Yeah. Well, I'll be like real hot on it for a while and then back off. And now I'm so far gone from like however many expansions have been out. I feel like there's no point in picking it back up. Like if they announced a Destiny 3, I would be there the first day.
And they just released like three armors that are based on like other characters from like things like the Hunter got Aloy's armor from Horizon, the Titan got Kratos armor, and the Warlock got Ghost of Tsushima like samurai
cool.
armor.
I was a Warlock main when I played.
I was a Titan, the tanky guy.
That's the best thing about like Bungie has such good like art design for their space shoot men.
yes.
They look so cool.
Yeah, they do design them right. I agree.
It's just I just can't stick to Destiny for whatever reason. What else was there besides? Because Sony owns Bungie now too.
They own. Yeah,
thing,
that's true. Yeah.
That was their ha ha to Microsoft.
Oh,
And then Microsoft bought Bethesda.
They showed a new Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah, Mirage.
Assassin's Creed Mirage. To me, it looked almost the same as the last two Assassin's
I
Creeds that I
thought
played.
it was a remake of the first one.
Yeah.
I thought that was Ezio
I mean, it is.
or Ezio.
No, the original was Altair.
Oh,
Ezio is in the second one.
okay.
Yeah, it's going back. It's going back to the Middle East.
Okay, yeah.
And like, I can't say I won't play this because I did discover very recently that I do like Assassin's Creed games when I thought I didn't. Like the Greek one and the Egyptian
Odyssey
one.
and Origin.
They were both very, very good games. So I
Mm.
mean, like, if it's like real cheap or like on Game Pass or something, I would definitely play it then.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure.
And yeah, it just looks like more Assassin's Creed, which, I mean, it looks like Ubisoft game product. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's accurate.
all they have like two versions of games. They have the first-person shooter Ubisoft game product, and then they have the third-person sword Ubisoft game product.
There was another trailer for Street Fighter 6.
Oh.
And it looks like more Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, I think we've seen enough of it at this point.
At this point,
Just
well,
come
it's going to
out.
be out in 2 weeks.
Oh.
So, yeah, this trailer was basically just to remind people, hey, 2 weeks,
By
middle
the
of
way,
June.
by the way,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't anything new in it or
They
anything.
teased Akuma a little bit. The villain of the game, JP, mentioned something about the Satsui no Hado, which is the style of murderous intent that Akuma uses. So
and Dark Ryu.
Dark
And
Ryu,
Violent
yeah.
Ken?
Violent Ken. No, Violent Ken technically is filled with psycho power from M. Bison. Which I guess Bison isn't in this game because he is a spirit trapped inside JP's walking stick. That's why JP, the character, has a stand.
his stand is
M. Bison.
Yeah, his stand is M. Bison. It's like a demonic M. Bison that he throws out with his walking stick.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
But I think that was mostly.
Oh man, we're
everything.
cool. We're
Yeah.
coming full circle because the fact that Guile was
Guy was Polnareff, right?
Polnareff from Stardust Crusaders. We're coming back around. JoJo is a loop in Street Fighter.
Well, Rose is just Lisa.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Joseph's mom.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
All right, so yeah, let's talk about some other things. There were some trailers for some movies. Another Barbie trailer. We've been covering just about every trailer for this Barbie movie.
It's your number one source for the latest in Barbie movie news.
That's right.
Hey, we wouldn't do it if it didn't look so darn good.
Yeah, it looks great. and this trailer gives a lot more of what the main plot of the film is going to be. And it looks like it's going to go in some kind of interesting, not just dumb Barbie movie
Barbie and Ken,
areas.
Barbie and Ken get reverse isekai'd.
Yeah.
They drive to the real world because Barbie is having an existential crisis.
Hey guys, do you ever think about death?
Yeah, do you ever think about death? Like, that kills me.
She was
so
just smiling
funny.
and
And then she loses her iconic
she loses
Barbie feet,
the foot arch,
and like people like her friends, the other Barbies go nuts.
Flat. Yeah.
I saw a snippet from like an interview with Greta Gerwig that was like about how Ken only existed after Barbie, and it's a reverse creation myth.
Yes.
Like, Ken exists because of Barbie and not the other way around. And it's like, the fact that you thought about this makes me think this movie is going to be very good.
Oh, yeah. Well, there was an interview with Ryan Gosling who basically, he said, I chose this role because, well, one, it's like, I wasn't going to do it. And then I saw one of my daughter's Ken dolls face down in the mud in our backyard. And it made me realize that Ken is nothing more than an accessory to Barbie and not even one of the fun ones. And that's why he chose to be in the movie. So they're putting some real thought into this. Also, apparently John Cena has a cameo bit part as Mermaid Ken.
My sister had that mermaid line when we were kids.
I think my sister had one of those as well. Yeah.
I definitely remember some mermaid Barbies.
And those mug shots in the trailer
they're so good.
Funny.
They're so good. Yeah, the trailer looks great. I'm more and more excited. You know, it's funny. It's coming out the same weekend as the Oppenheimer biopic.
Oh,
I am more. There are so many more people excited to see Barbie than to see Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Well, because a lot of historical picks are boring.
But it's a Christopher Nolan biopic, so it might
want
be.
to see Oppenheimer.
I do want to see.
It does look very good.
I do want to see Oppenheimer as well. But if I am going to a movie opening weekend and I can only pick one,
it's gonna be Barbie.
It's gonna be Barbie.
Barbie. M become death, destroyer of Oppenheimers.
Yes. There's another trailer for the Spiderverse.
Yeah. Was it a really trailer, or was it like more of a? I guess it kind of was a trailer.
Teaser kind of thing.
Like there's like a joke from like the spot, and then there's like a whole like sequence of
Spider-Man pointing at each other.
they did the meme. They did the meme.
I'm so glad the Spot is getting his time in the sun. I love that character. I think his power set is so interesting
Because he's this cartoon black hole guy.
because he makes cartoon black holes. And how do you stop something like that?
Is this a suit? Unfortunately for both of us, this is skin, which is a line in the trailer.
Yeah, it's great.
Also, the fact that Spider-Rex, that comic just came out.
Oh yeah, they're throwing all sorts of crazy
That
stuff
comic
in
just
there.
came out, and he's already in a movie.
Yeah.
Where's Spooderman? Spooderman better be in this stupid movie.
Spider-Man
Spider-Man should be somewhere in there.
Spider-Man and Batman.
And Batman. Yeah. Oh gosh. I still
Talk about some old internet thing that just clicked in your brain, right?
I still can't wait till we see Takuya, Japanese Spider-Man, on screen with his giant robot leopard on.
His lion robot with a web motif.
I love that bit of the Spider-Man in therapy that's in the trailer.
Oh yeah.
And then my Uncle Ben. Let me guess, he died.
He died. Yes.
There was some Warhammer stuff.
Oh yeah, Warhammer stuff.
Yeah,
Yes.
the Games Workshop had their, what do they call it, their Skull Showcase or whatever.
The Games Workshop Direct.
Basically. But it was like showing off some DLCs for some games, some new footage. There was a new trailer for Space Marine 2, or actually a gameplay footage of Space Marine 2. And it looks like Space Marine. It looks like Space Marine 2.
They should have opened their stream with like, we got so many little men for you to paint.
Pretty much. Because they also announced the Space Marine board game.
Oh, that's cool.
Like
nice.
other than they already have Space Marines on tabletop because that's how their whole thing got started.
Right.
they actually made a board game for Space Marine.
Yeah, if they made like a more approachable board game version of it, I would be down for that.
But actually, they kind of do. It's called Kill Team, and it's smaller groups, and it's smaller gameplay. Not having like giant armies of 100 dudes or whatever.
Yeah.
If you're playing like Imperial Guard or orcs.
But of course, everything that they make costs $1 billion.
Oh yeah.
Incredibly expensive.
Oh yeah. Like I follow the Warhammer stuff pretty close, and there's a bunch of new models and stuff coming out. A new novel just came out, expanding more lore stuff.
Aren't they working on like a TV series or a movie
Amazon,
or something like that?
On Amazon with Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
That was why he was leaving The Witcher.
I always wanted to get Blood Bowl because Blood Bowl looks like a lot of fun.
That was another thing. They released a trailer for a new faction for Blood Bowl 3, the Lizard Men.
Nice. But the base set of Blood Bowl is like $100 billion.
Yeah.
To play real fantasy football.
Yeah.
At Origins, I played basically a knockoff Blood Bowl. It was a different game. It was,
Butt Bowl.
No. It was like very similar to Blood Bowl, but instead of American football, it was more like rugby. And it had like fantasy characters and different little factions you could buy. There was a trailer for a new game called Speed Freaks, which is
Warhammer Kart.
So in the lore of Warhammer 40,000 or 40K, whatever you want to call it, there is a faction of orcs called the Speed Freaks, and they are obsessed with machines and going fast. So this is kind of loosely based on an old tabletop game they had back in like the 90s called Gorka Morka.
That's a terrible name.
That's a great name.
Well, here's the thing. In orc lore, they have two gods, Gork and Mork. Gork is
Mork and Mindy.
Gork is cunning but brutal, and Mork is brutal but cunning. It's stupid.
Oh,
it's
because
stupid.
they're orcs. Yeah,
it's because they're orcs.
Yes.
Anyway, so in Speed Freaks, it is a racing game / vehicle combat game. But you're not racing on like a straight track. Well, at least in the mode that you can play in the alpha test, which is out now if you apply for it.
Is it like a Carmageddon thing?
I don't know. I didn't play Carmageddon.
Like you race to checkpoints, but
Yes.
also kill each other.
Yes. And there's different classes you can pick. Like there's heavy carts, there's fast carts, and there's like medium carts.
Okay.
And they all have different abilities and different things they can do.
Nice.
But I applied for the alpha and I got immediately accepted.
Nice.
Excellent.
And
All right.
I played it for like 40 minutes last night.
Cool.
I guess I don't know if I should have left that for the check it out or not.
Oh.
Anyway, but it's interesting, and it's a lot more put together as an alpha than a lot of betas I've tried. And it's, if you're a fan of orcs like me, it's very good. It's very reminiscent of there's an arcade air combat game on Steam called Daka Squadron, which is just orc fighter jets.
Okay,
There's
that's kind of
so many
great.
orc games.
There are. They really are. Because you have that. You have...
Orc Massage.
Shut up.
There is a game called Orc Massage.
That's not from them, though. I'm tired of Steam and their like new releases having like a billion games.
Yeah, they really... There's a lot... There's too many of them.
Yeah.
They really need to, like, I don't want to yuck anyone's yum, but maybe like...
It's like... I don't want to turn them off because they're kind of funny to see.
They're funny to see, but also...
But I also don't want to see them all the time.
And they always
Yeah.
have like these dumb titles, and a lot of them are very Japanese waifu based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, orc stuff. Yeah, they also had that side-scrolling kind of Metal Slug-esque game, Shoot Us Blood and Teeth.
That
has a really great soundtrack.
The Metal Slug team, like the old Metal Slug team, has a new game coming out they're working on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I read about
It's
that.
like Jet the Bullet or something like that.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. It looks like Metal Slug, which...
Fine.
Yeah,
Metal
always
Slug's
use more
good.
Metal Slug.
Yeah, anything better than that mobile game I played for a week. That wasn't even really Metal Slug.
It was like one of those games that like played themselves.
Yeah. You just it was just gotcha characters, and they did things.
And Metal Slug doesn't even have enough characters to do it.
No, because most of the characters you got were like goon enemies. Here's some tentacle aliens. Here's some of the terrorist guys.
the Mars people,
the zombies, the mummies.
Yeah, if it's a sprite in the game, we've recycled it to be a gotcha character.
Exactly. Oh, that and all the vehicles were their own characters too. So, the Metal Slug and then all the other stuff. Oh, there was like a DLC for a stupid PC card game. I'm like, okay, I don't care.
Warhammer Hearthstone.
Oh, card game. That reminds me.
Yeah.
Okay, there is Guilty Gear Strive is introducing their newest DLC character. It is that man, the main villain from the series that has never been. His name is Asuka Arkrutz. But in the games up until this point, he's always just been called that man. And so some of the characters in Guilty Gear Strive, trust me, this is going to get back to card games.
It's fine.
Some of the characters in Guilty Gear are like homages to other styles of video games. Like there's one that is essentially a third-person shooter character as a fighting game character. There's one that is like a MOBA character where like you create little people that like are the different lanes and stuff like that. That man is a tabletop card game as a fighting game character.
He's Yu-Gi-Oh.
He's literally, other than his basic punch, every attack that he makes is pulled randomly from a deck.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, and his level 2 special is dump your hand, shuffle the deck, pull 5 more cards.
That's wild.
It's like, hey, do you want to play this fighting game? Learn how to play Magic the Gathering. Like he has to place down certain mana to do certain attacks.
Yeah.
Like, but as a fighting game character, it's kind of wild.
I tap 3 lands so I can punch
So I
you.
could summon.
Yeah.
So I could summon the Dark Magician.
Yeah.
Well, if he ends up on Pot of Greed, then he's great. He's sold.
Pot of Greed's banned. Can't use it. Can't use it in legal play. Anyway, then he has enough energy to get Pikachu. Do you remember that Digimon card game?
No.
No.
I think I have a holographic one at my dad's somewhere.
Nice.
Like Saber Leomon.
Nice.
When I was going through all those Pokemon cards I found in my dad's garage, I found 2 like gallon Ziploc bags full of Pokemon cards. There was some Digimon cards mixed in
Nice.
there, but they weren't like a card game one. They were just like
Trading cards
of the show. Yeah.
It's weird. I like the conceit of Digimon, but also it's never grabbed me like Pokemon has.
Their character designs aren't as good.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, man.
Some of them are pretty wild.
like-
A dog with jeans on.
Hey, you
Yeah.
leave Where Garurumon alone.
They're over designed a lot.
They are very
They
over-designed.
are definitely the edgy cousin.
Yeah.
Like Pokemon has the better game because most of the Digimon games are not that
At
great.
least it used to.
no.
No, I didn't know. I like Scarlet and Violet.
But I like the idea of Digimon evolving up and down depending on the situation.
Yeah, because they don't stay that way. It's like Mega Evolutions. They pop up and then they go back down.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Although if they were like Mega Evolutions, they would go away and then never come back.
and
for some reason.
never come back.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
But anyway, like I was saying, Pokemon has had the better games. Digimon had the better anime.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like I remember going to the theater and watching the Digimon.
Oh,
movie.
with Smash Mouth?
Yes.
With the Smash Mouth music?
Yes.
The Digimon show had more stakes than Pokemon's. Pokemon was just
yeah.
a silly cartoon.
A silly cartoon.
Yeah, and
yeah.
Digimon was monster fighting isekai back before isekai was a thing.
Also, Wormmon was voiced by Robert Axelrod, who was Lord Zed.
Oh,
Yeah, he did a lot of voices for Saban and Bandai, 4Kids TV, that sort of thing. Yeah.
In other words, he's a non-union actor.
He was a non-union actor, yes.
like they all were back in the
well,
day.
why else do you think he ended up on so many Tim and Eric episodes? He's kind of funny looking and he's non-union, so yeah. Just like us, but
Hey.
we've actually hit time for the week, so let's go ahead and wrap things up. You've been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, or support our Patreon at Nerd Overload Now.
You can send us an email at staff@nerdoverload.com or give us a call on the Nerd Overload hotline. That number is 419-561-5556. Leave us a message and we'll play it on the show. We did a couple shows ago.
A couple weeks ago, yeah, we'll play whatever you send us.
We need more.
Yeah, let's do it. You can find all of our back episodes on various podcast apps such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and more. Finally, I'd like to thank Parker for helping us out on the Facebook page, and also David Pencil for the use of our intro and outro. You can find more of his stuff over at davidpencil.com. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back next week.
Peace out.